Hi folks, and welcome back to another Travels of Red Rover. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Corinne.
And where are we today, Corinne?
Well, it feels like flashback time because we are back at Smith Rock State Park in Oregon, which we visited last August.
Last August with all kinds of smoke. So we did not spend a lot of time here last August, and we were really pretty unsuccessful at getting the shots we wanted.
So we're giving it another try. We're here this evening doing a couple late afternoon shots, and then we'll maybe come back again tomorrow.
Smith Park is absolutely beautiful and is extremely popular with climbers, hikers, and photographers. There are many great trails in the park and lots of opportunity to find new and interesting compositions. We started our adventure at Smith Rock, heading back to a location we tried when we got smoked out the last time. This is a favorite overlook of ours, and it features several very pointy pinnacles, some big flat rocks, and some interesting light. So we are back shooting one of my favorite compositions here at Smith Rock. This big pinnacle rock in front of the wall. It just sits out there beautifully, and as long as there's some clouds and interesting stuff to the right, it really makes it a nice shot. Now, we've been shooting it for the last little while with a little filtered light. I'm actually using a 2-stop soft edge neutral density filter to fill in the or balance out the light in the background because it's very, very bright, and this rock is quite dark, so that even when it gets light on it, it's still quite dark, so you really have to work at getting it to set out. Now, the challenge we've been having this afternoon is, if we scan this way, is that we've got all these big clouds coming in and the sun is filtering through the clouds, and every once in a while the sun disappears. So we're waiting for times when the sun will actually break through and light up this rock. Well, we've had a very good time this afternoon. With the clouds coming in and out, it's giving us lots of interesting looks on the rock. So we're taking actually quite a few photographs. We're going to have to sift through them to see which ones we really like and ones we don't. It's a little difficult while we're standing out here, actually really figuring out which ones are going to be best, because the change of light on the rock is very, very subtle at times. And a little more or a little less can really make the difference between something we like and what we don't like. So the sun is just gone behind those clouds over there, and it's actually pretty over there, but it would be hard to shoot right now. Our rock, which is right there, has now gone pretty much colorless and isn't lit virtually at all. It did give us again some nice looks with the big dark clouds behind, and as you can probably hear, the wind is starting to howl. Morning. It's the next day, and Corinne and I are out bright and early this morning.
Well, we're getting a little clearing in the sky behind the rock that's behind me here, where my camera's set up. And I think the large cloud that's in the east that I was watching earlier is moving somewhat south, so we may see the sun break out shortly. I've been taking exposures every 15 minutes or so because the clouds keep changing, and I'll see which one I like the best after I've had a chance to review them on the computer. but not waiting for that stellar moment, just taking exposures every once in a while as the clouds change may generate something that you can really enjoy. And so I think that it's wise not to just sit idle while you're waiting for clouds to clear, but watch the patterns and see if you can capture something that's interesting with different cloud densities and appearance behind your main subject. Well, this was a morning that didn't work out quite as expected. The sun did finally break through, and it's quite intense. But the problem is that it's only really lighting up the lower part of my rock, and the upper part is quite shadowed. So it has a funny look to it, especially since there's not a lot of cloud over top of the mountain to give the viewer a cue that the top has been shaded by clouds. The clouds are mostly in the east, and I'm looking west, and the western sky is fairly clear.
We tried to catch some of the early morning light as it reflected up on the low-lying clouds. It didn't work very well. We got a little tiny bit of interesting light in the clouds, but it was very brief and very gentle light, and it was really difficult to capture this morning. One of the things that Corinne and I like to do when we're at a new location or a location we're not really familiar with is often use the daytime when it's usually too harsh to do any real good landscape photography to explore the area. And today we've come and just taken a walk along the river at the bottom of the gorge. It's a beautiful location, and a lot of the rocks out behind us are just absolutely gorgeous. Corinne and I have come out to do a little early evening photography. Corinne is headed to a slightly different location. I have really liked this series of rocks every time I've seen them. I think it's a great composition. Unfortunately, the light on them is just way too harsh. I'm going to wait and see if, as we get into golden hour here in about 45 minutes, if the light improves, or if it just completely darkens out on me and I really need to be here in the morning. We have no clouds right now. There's a whole series of clouds behind me that might move in a little later. If they do, that'll be great. It'll really improve this shot. Otherwise, this is going to be pretty much a documentary shot. Corinne has decided to join me over on this side. We're still hoping that some clouds will blow in and maybe give us some nice light when the sun decides to set. It's an absolutely gorgeous evening, so it's very pleasant just sitting out here waiting. Well, I found a nice rock chair to stretch out and enjoy the afternoon sun. Not much is happening, so just waiting. But we're starting to get some softer light now, and it's definitely making the picture a lot better. It's bringing up the reds quite a bit in the photograph and giving it a nice kind of golden feel to it. We're also getting a little bit of cloud, high cloud coming in, which does add a little bit of interest into the sky. So that's also an improvement. We're just taking a few shots right now, hoping as the sun goes down behind the mountains behind us here, that we're going to get a little even softer light on these hills, and eventually maybe just a touch of color up in those clouds. Corinne's working right over there, and she's concentrating on that scene right there, and she's been working at that for a little while, and as again the sun is starting to set a little bit and the light's getting a little softer, they're getting a little easier to photograph. So Corinne and I decided to switch locations. The clouds had virtually completely disappeared from the other side, and really the composition absolutely has to have the clouds. So this is a bit weaker composition. It's going to be a little bit more silhouette-y, but with the river down in the bottom and the very jagged rocks here, I think it'll work well with the high cloud that is off to the left. So it'll be a better composition than the other side overall if we get some color in those clouds.
Well, we've had a couple of nice days at Smith Rock. At least they've been much nicer than the ones we had last August when we had lots of wildfires adding smoke to the air.
Yes, certainly the weather has been a good deal better, and there's been no smoke, which has been lovely. And it's been pretty quiet here, so we've really enjoyed being here. There are quite a few climbers here this week, but otherwise it's a pretty quiet week, and pretty much had the place to ourselves.
Yeah, I think that the photography has been okay. I wouldn't say any of my shots are stellar, so I wish I had have seen some less clouds on our first evening and more clouds this evening.
It would have been better if the clouds we had the first night were more evenly distributed over the entire time we were here. That would have made things a lot better.
So, well, it's always a gamble when you're out doing landscape photography. You can't control the sun, the weather, the clouds. All you can control is where you position yourself.
Yeah, and we haven't done a very good job of that either, because we've been in some great spots, but just the bad time, and then we've been there at a good time, but it was a bad spot. So it's been kind of one of those crazy few days where we got a lot of opportunity to stand out in some beautiful weather, but not a whole lot of great photography.
Well, that's the way it sometimes goes, and we just hope that we learn from our experience and do better the next time.
Yeah, the one thing we did do this time that was lovely is that we did a little bit more reconnoitering. I think we do a better job of selecting where we want to be next time. I think that would really improve, and I think it'll improve our photography as well. Anyway, that's about it, and we're going to take a few more shots here and then probably wrap it up.
Yeah, and it's time to hit the road to a new location.
We sure hope you enjoyed this video of Smith Rock, and if you did, please give us a thumbs up.
And if you'd like to see more of our videos, I hope you'll consider subscribing.
And as always, if you want to know when the videos are released, hit that bell button down below.
And we enjoy hearing from you. So feel free to leave a comment or question in the comment section below, and we'll do our best to respond as promptly as possible.
We sure hope you folks have a great week, and bye for now.
Bye for now.